It's an exciting morning. Now, the SABC2, and that's mainly SABC2, will, of course, be broadcasting all of the TotalEnergies CAF Africa Cup of Nations matches that will be hosted in Morocco in a couple of weeks. And the excitement is palpable, I can tell you. From the 21st of December to the 18th of January 2026, that's where our eyes will be trained. And of course, 24 nations participating, including our very own Bafana Bafana. There's also Burkina Faso, there's Zimbabwe, Angola, Nigeria, completing some of the continent's biggest footballing nations in that tournament. And this morning, we, of course, are kickstarting our On the Road to AFCON campaign here on Morning Live to support Bafana Bafana. And I'm so excited. You know, my heart just literally jumped out of my chest because we have two of South Africa's greats, former South African netball national team coaches, both of them, Jomo Sono and, of course, Prof Augusto Palacios. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you very much for inviting us.
And I said, because the two of you came through, I have a good feeling, because it kind of gives you that 96 feeling where it was the Madiba magic, and now it's all of you. It's up to you.
Yeah.
Project?
Very excited with the team, you know, and I think the team is balanced. It is a mixture of experienced players and youth at the same time. And the coaches kept the core of that team together for a long time. That is why this team is gelling so easy whenever they play. He's done a very good job.
And when we think back to 96 and our heyday as South Africa, one of the things, there was a lot said about the moment. It was our moment. The time was right. There was the Madiba magic, Prof. But also, those players could play. Like this group of players, they can actually play.
I think I agree with Jomo what he said. We had a very balanced team. And I believe also the consistent, you know, in the core, the player never move. I mean, the player from different club continue in the team. You know, and this is very important. It means no player is new to know what is the responsibility. And he picked up player by performance. And then in the balance and the mix with young player and the senior. And the good moment who was South African football in the moment, you know, to go to the World Cup and the 70 and the 20, I mean, keeping together Bafana. I had a feeling that we're going to not only right to the final, we can take this trophy if the player had a confidence, because from the coach, no, he already showed what the consistency he had during all these games.
And speaking of the coach, of course, coming under fire from some sections, but it's a thankless job that both of you are very familiar with, because when it comes to the selection, people have their own preferences, and of course, the coach has to do what he needs to do to win.
Yeah, you know, when he first arrived here, typical South African press, they've got their own favorite players. It happened to us in 98 when we went to Burkina Faso. We dropped few, you know, experienced players, and we decided to go with youth. And we were never given a chance. And I liked his attitude. The first day he sat on the table there, he says, I will make the decision. I will make the final decision. No journalist will tell me who to select, who not to select. Because, you know, like you said, it's a thankless job, because I can select the player you want. I lose, you hammer me. But you're the one who said I must select him. So I really did like his attitude to say, I'm the boss, and that's it. If you're happy or we're unhappy, it's your business. But I have to do what I think. Even now, he's still under a little bit of pressure, because he took 9 Pirates players, he took 6 Sundowns players, and he didn't take a single player from Chiefs.
Well, there's one on standby, I think.
Standby, you're not guaranteed.
Of course you're not guaranteed.
You're not guaranteed. You're outside the bus. And everybody's inside the bus. So anything can happen. And he stuck by its guns to say. And, you know, to be honest, this is a very, very good team.
And as Prof, you were saying, he stuck to the core of the team, and that's important. Bringing in some youngsters who've also done very well, and they may not get a kick, but the experience is important.
No, this is what Jomo say, never compromise by coaches or the public who you select. This is the truth. It's always this debate about who select, but happy that he keeping his personality and to select the player by performance. And surprise in the final player Smith from the 20s there, who not happened before. From 2022 in Korea, Japan, and our Jomo in Burkina also, we never had young player like now. Because we think young player when arrive 23, and it's wrong. Now, I mean, now this national team is balanced. The coach had a personality. The player believed in himself. This is more important. And everyone in the PSL tried to play his best. And it's happened, no? And it's not here, it's night player from Pirates or Sundown or Chief. It's the country. And the country who need to represent. And we had a very good team represent. And in standby, we also had 3 good players. I mean, we cover everything, you know, and I believe, congratulations also to Helman, who coming from the Jomo, no? And then who is in the team, you know, and he learning there, and I'm happy for him, you know, and for his technical team. I think the technical team doing very well, quietly, but doing very well.
Indeed. And then, you know, you talk about 98. If we could just go back, if you look at our readmission in 91 and then 92, we started competing. We didn't qualify for 94, 96. And what we forget is we weren't initially meant to host 96. It was Kenya. And they then were unable to, and that's how South Africa got to host. And again, even there, after our 4x4 days, you know, we came good. We came good. And we had a good run-up to that 96 tournament, which we tend to forget. I think we played the likes of Argentina. We played Germany. We won a 13-match winning streak coming into that tournament. But we were still underdogs.
I think 96 is a bit different to the squad we have. You know, when we were readmitted, a lot of players, South African players, started going overseas. We were readmitted back to FIFA. And we had a lot of young players going overseas, Steven Pienaar, Fortune, McCarthy, Mukwena. They all started going overseas. If you look at that whole setup in 96, I would say 98% of the players that started were playing overseas. 96. 98, we had maybe 60 players were playing overseas. 2002 in the World Cup, we had about 60% playing overseas. But this team is different. It's all local.
And let's take a look at that team, starting from the keepers. Ronwen Williams, Sipho Chain, Ricardo Goss. So obviously, Ronwen Williams, we saw his heroics in the last edition, and he's undisputed #1 at this point. But of course, China is doing great, and we expect Goss to also, you know, start to earn his stripes there. But selection of goalkeepers, I think that one basically had the least disputes.
Yeah, and very consistent, because the 3 goalkeepers are consistent in his team. And he's doing very well. I mean, from this area, we guarantee very good in the goalkeeper aspect.
So, you know, and if the back is secure, I think they say, you know, you win titles, you win championships and tournaments by securing the back. Defenders, Mudau, Mbogazi, Sibisi, Modiba. Let's talk through that list. I mean, Tylan Smith, we think he's been brought in for experience, but he's an outstanding youngster.
He did well.
Exactly.
Very good player.
So I know Jomo Sono as a coach, perhaps you too, Prof, would probably weigh Tylan Smith into a side there.
Yeah.
You know, because he really is that good, and it would be good to see how he actually comes up against top-notch opposition.
He's playing well in England.
Yes.
For QPR, he's doing well. So coaches are not the same.
Yeah. Yes,
maybe
that's why I'm saying you would probably throw him on.
The two of us are crazy.
Yes, you would throw him on.
We'll just throw him in the deep end.
So again, a lot of consistency at the back there. Any surprises, any name you think should have been there, maybe not? So you're happy with that?
Yeah.
All right, let's move to the midfielders. Tebogo Mokoena, Talente Mbata, Spepeto Sitole, and Batusi Aubas. Again, solid in the midfield. Enough creativity, would you say, in that midfield?
Yeah. You know, in the moment, the mix of position, you know, his creativity, his attacking, his defense. I think we have very, and the important thing is all these players play together. I mean, he know one another. I mean, it's very balanced midfield, very balanced.
And, you know, games of this nature in the AFCON and the World Cup are won and lost in midfield. He's got a very, very good midfield there.
Of course, for me, the glaring absentee there, for obvious reasons, is Themba Zwane. Mshishi.
Yeah, I think we understand his point. He's been injured for a long time. You know, to come back and throw him in the deep end there, you know, I think it would be a bit difficult.
And I'm wondering, with the World Cup coming up in 6 months, do you think Mshishi still has like a tournament in him, at least one more?
It depends if he plays regular. Because remember, game time is very important. You know, we must not different. AFCON and World Cup is a competition. This is a competition, you know, for more the Euro country undermine AFCON, but it's a hard competition. You understand? But if he plays regular and consistent, he can play in the World Cup. There's nothing wrong. Look in the age of Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, I don't think it's about the age, it's about the consistency. And what Jomo said, he was injured for a long time. Now he needs to be consistent. He had the opportunity, and then he can play.
I can just add in with a little bit of controversy.
Yes.
In midfield. This squad is selected. I think me, with my old head, I think there's a kid that Kaizer Chiefs who plays midfield. He was in Portugal. Tele.
Ah, yes, yes.
When I looked at the squad, I thought he'll just put him in there because I think that kid can play.
He can play.
He can play.
He can play.
No.
And yeah, and again, you know, maybe there's opportunity going into the World Cup.
Yeah,
it's about the consistency and earning that play. But I'm with you on Tele.
Yeah,
I like Tele. Yes, absolutely. And then the forwards. Now, this is where, yeah, the tar hits the road here for me. Evidence Mahopa, Lyle Foster, Rele Mofokeng, Nkota, Bule, Moremi, Apollos, Mokwana, and again another youngster, Chandre Campbell. So what do you make of that? Do you think this is going to unlock the goals?
Yeah, it will. There's a mixture.
Yeah, mister.
You know, the mixture. I mean, people sometimes are having a go with Evidence Mahopa. He's not a flashy striker, but he's a striker that defenders hate to play against because he's a busybody. You know, he's bumping people, he's running there, and he's got height, and he's a big boy, he can hold it. So people say,
your type of player.
Yeah, I love it.
Rajay, yeah.
Yeah.
and also remember, no, psychology is very important to the player to put in the mind who will go to the World Cup. Because his performance in AFCON is very important to select for the World Cup. I mean, here is not relaxed about. And what he say, Jomo, is not about if you play local or overseas. It's here your performance. And in AFCON, for me, it's more difficult, the World Cup. Because in Africa competition, you know, everyone want to win. I mean, to have all these players, and the more important what we have here is the speed player. You know, like in Cota, the speed. The speed.
All of them.
Is all of them. I mean, it's going to be quick, and also competition among them. Because no matter you play in the same club, but here it's individual. You need to fight for your position.
Yeah.
For the 11.
And
it's a very good team.
It's a solid team. It certainly is. And I certainly have hopes for this team making the final.
No, definitely they will make it to the final. You know, if you look at the team, you look at the history, you look at the consistency. If they go there, Africa Cup of Nations, and say we're going to the final, if they believe, they can. We've been there before. We went to Burkina Faso.
That hastily assembled team.
Quick. You know, quick fix. That quick fix team. We ended up in the finals. But this team should win Africa Cup of Nations. Definitely. With the kind of players you have there.
So, as you say, we won it on home soil in '96, and then in '98 in Burkina Faso,
we lost the final.
In Ouagadougou. Now, I want to take the two of you back there, because that was the final against Egypt. And again, we were defending champions, but given the lead up to that tournament, it was a shambles.
Big shambles.
It was a shambles.
I don't know how we did it.
Yeah, and the fact that you made it to the final against one of the finest teams, it was the Benny McCarthy, Hossam Hassan tournament, that one. And, you know, let's go down memory lane. Talk to us, you know, all of that mess leading up to you leaving the country.
But the condition was completely different.
Yeah,
I was a team manager.
It was bad.
I was a team manager. Remember, the accommodation was in houses, no hotel. And what the ground for training was very difficult. I mean, the condition of Burkina and here is completely different, no? The players want to go in good stadium, in hotels, you know, and I don't know, it's difficult to compare. And also the preparation was completely different. He don't have time. Yeah. I mean, it's to put number or elements to compare now. It's completely different. Before, it was no FIFA calendar. Now, South Africa managed to play now, game in the FIFA calendar now a week ago. Before, it was not happening. No?
But with that said, though, the fact that there's still this unfair situation when it comes to the African Nations Cup and African players. If you look at FIFA saying that players should only be released on the 15th, by their clubs. I mean,
7 days.
That's not fair.
That's not fair.
You know, they don't give you time to prepare. Yeah. You need time to prepare. Like Augusto said, we didn't have time to prepare. We went there, and we were looking at going into a hotel, and then all of a sudden we were put in the township. It was houses in the township, and we slept there. But all we wanted was to represent South Africa and go through. So I think the mentality of this team should be like that. Because if you look at the team now, if you put them in Burkina Faso, they'll come back the following day, where we were staying. We were lucky because we had players who wanted to do well, and the team manager and myself, we used to sit down and, you know, it was not all about coaching, it was also being a father and a leader in a bad situation. But you turn that situation bad and make it a good situation. It's like making a bad pass into a good pass. So we did that. And I'm very excited for the first time. I think this team will definitely make it. You know, I want to comment about one player who I thought his career was going down, was Sipombule. I commented about him in one of the papers. I said, if this kid can get somebody to control him and, you know, control his football career, not his life, this kid can go far because he can play. He can really play. You know, even at Sikukuni, when he was released, I did ask the CEO. I said, you should have persevered with him because this kid can play. He proved me right, and he's in the national team. Hope he doesn't change because he can make a difference, especially in the Africa Cup of Nations. I don't know about the World Cup.
But that's, of course, the inspiration for those who haven't quite made it onto the sheet. There's the World Cup in 6 months after the AFCON.
But you know, very interesting the point who Jomo made. But you know, the first player, we had too many talent in this country, too many talent. But the guiding aspect, the guiding is the difficult. Is the difficult. And we always compare, you know, the 200 or 300 African players who play in Europe. It's because it's the guiding aspect, you understand? Sometimes our player is too comfort. You know why he have. We know have ambition, where to go. And this is the situation and people around them is another problem. But I'm happy this boy is a very talented and it's a message for the rest of the players. You can make it with a good discipline and you can change your life. In the past is the problem, now is the opportunity. Now, he got the opportunity now. Not look about the World Cup, look in the AFCON to display and to show what he can do. And the opportunity will come. You know, I'm very happy for him also. And also the Orlando Pirates to take him, you understand? And the same happy with Jabo Pule when he left and coming to Orlando Pirates. I mean, it's a lot of players who must take this message serious because the talent is there and work for the family because the family expect a lot.
And this is why the two of you are here, because you are able to bring it home to these players, to make them understand the moment, the gravity of this particular moment and what it means for them, and even those who haven't made it.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
And you know, very important when I see Lai Foster, I heard him when he had 12 years. You know,
he was at your academy. Yes. I remember Lyle was here at Mayfair with you.
Correct.
Yes.
And then, you know, when I arrived to this beautiful country, 42 years, my first game was against Jomo. And mine, you know, and with the black aces.
Ask him the score.
With the black aces.
Ask him the score. Don't run away. Ask him the score and who scored. Ask him.
And you know,
who scored, Prof?
He remembers.
Yeah. And you know, it's very interesting when you see the players that we have. It's unbelievable. And Jomo mentioned something very important. From 1992, how many players went to overseas?
Okay.
From South Africa?
I'll tell you what, I'm hoping that we're going to get the two of you back regularly because I think between us, we are tipping this team. Yes, we are all behind this team.
We have qualified for AFCON.
Indeed. All right, that's where we have to leave it. And this is, of course, how we're launching the Road to AFCON here on Morning Live. We couldn't have asked for better guests to help us with that. Professor Augusto Palacios and, of course, the legend Brad J himself here in studio.